This is a Psion Revo Plus PDA. It's probably only about 6 inches long and a couple of inches wide, and this really would have complemented the salesman on the road in the late 90s, early 2000s. Before I open it up, I'll just show you around the outside. So there's nothing going on here apart from the stylus. Oh yes, every good salesman needs to have a stylus built in to their PDA. I can imagine businessmen showing off their latest version of their PDA and how it was better than everybody else's, kind of like the scene in American Psycho with the old business cards. So around the back we've got a little adapter port there. This slightly shiny blank section here, which I think is for infrared communication, and that's about it really. It's pretty unassuming from the outside. It kind of looks a little bit style-wise like the Logitech MX Master, so very high-end. Okay, let's open this up, and it's got this sort of hinge here where if I just open it like that, I mean, that is pretty classy, isn't it? Look at that. That strikes me as a little bit over-engineered, but it does then mean that it sort of sits on the desk at a bit of an angle to make it so much easier to type on. And look at this. I mean, it's operating now without a power supply in there, but I don't think the battery will last very long. We've got this cute little keyboard, which is you know, a full QWERTY keyboard with arrow keys and, you know, a proper number row and control and escape and functions that you'd find on most PCs, but in a very compact design. In fact, these buttons themselves are incredibly flat, and although it looks like they would be very nice to type on, they are in fact absolutely terrible. And the inside here is a speaker, and it's very quiet, but if I tap on one of the buttons you might just be able to hear it. Okay, here it is. Right, I'll just get out the stylus so we can really enjoy. Oh yeah, here it is. Tucked away at the back. Okay, so let's take a little look. So we've got the main sort of shortcuts to features along the bottom here. This is extremely good for pointing at things. If I go into contacts, I mean, it is absolutely tiny, the text on here. It's got quite a high resolution really. We can add a new contact. I don't think I'd be able to sort of use like a on-screen keyboard. You do actually have to type in, but that's, you know, that's fair enough. So, you know, oh, we've even got a tab button. Does that make me go down to the bottom next box? No, it doesn't. Oh, but the up and down, left and right arrow keys do. So that's great. And yeah, this keyboard is pretty horrible to type on. It looks like it'd be really good. It looks like the keys themselves would actually have a bit of travel, but I mean, it feels like they're just sat on top of a rubber sheet, and this is really all it can cope with, which, you know, it's fair enough. So let's save that. Lovely, there we go. Now we've got our first contact in there. Then over on the agenda, actually a classic calendar. Look, they've got the old rings there, as if you're looking at a file of facts. I should imagine most people. Can I click on that to move to the next page? Can I move left and right? Actually, we should set the date, shouldn't we? January 2000. I'll show you that in a second, actually, because that is probably the nicest feature of this whole thing. So we've got the agenda. We can view by day, or, you know, lots of different things like that. Can I just add an appointment? Let's see, add a note. Cursor is not on an entry. Yeah, no, right, that's fair enough. Oh, here we go. Create new entry. Meeting with Tom. Oh, it's actually quite easy and fast to type in. It's a lot better than trying to draw something on the screen, and I don't even think this has got handwriting recognitions or anything like that. Setting the start time at 9 o'clock. That could be a better. interface, but let's just say there we go. Here we go. Meeting with Tom on Saturday the 1st of January. So I'm probably a bit too late for this appointment. Okay, what else have we got? We've got email. So this can connect to a phone by infra-red, I think, or we might be able to do it by a serial port. And then you could be downloading your emails from your probably pop email account, like Hotmail or something like that. And then you wouldn't ever miss out on an important message while you're out and about. Okay, so that's email. Should we do a new email? Let's do. Oh, look, we can do SMS. Again, if it's connected to a phone, then yes, that would make sense that you could send an SMS, an SOS SMS, if you like. And can you select someone from your address book? Hey, yes, I can. That one, please. I'd like to send it to him. Brilliant. I mean, I didn't put a telephone number in, so it probably wouldn't work anyway. But yeah, SMS, email. What was the other thing that it said on there? Let's just go back to save to outbox. You must address the message to someone. Save to draft. Okay, here we go. So if I said new email, SMS, or folder, okay, that's just managing the way it looks. But it's pretty nice icons and things. Inbox, outbox, draft, and send. Not too bad. Okay. Phone. So I think you really could use this as a telephone, which would just be absolutely incredible to hold this thing up to your face. But I'm not sure it's got a microphone as well. But anyway, you could certainly trigger a phone call from this. But now look at this. This here looks like some sort of James Bond villain's lair big screen that they'd have with this, this sort of target to indicate what time zone we're in. Can I turn the map off? Why would I ever want to do that? We've got alarms, and I can create a new alarm. Maybe we'll do that. Oh, test sound. Let's see what that sounds like. Oh, well, that's fantastic. But that's just one, surely. Have we got some other ones? Yeah, we do. Look at this. Crickets. Ooh, okay, that is pretty painful. Whoa! Okay, let's move on to it. Whoa, shut up. Okay, that is a very loud noise. Fanfare? Let's try that. If I can select it. Oh, there we go. You definitely want to play that church bell. Wow. Perfect on a Sunday morning if you need to get to church. Okay, but it looks like you could set an alarm and sound, as they describe it here, just by, per alarm, which is pretty cool. So it wouldn't be system-wide. So that's pretty cool. Let's go back to that map. Okay, can we actually set the time? That's what I want to know, because I don't think... Oh, no, but I could change my home city, it looks like. Possibly. Anyway, we'll get to that. We've got Germany down there. It's good to know what the time is in Germany in relation to us. What time is it saying there? Gosh, it's very difficult for me to see, but it's probably a bit easier on the screen. Okay, anyway, that's the time. You know how time works. Calculator 1, 2, 3. So you can this one you can type in on the screen, but you can also use the buttons on the actual device itself. Beep beep beep, which should probably be a bit more accurate. But you don't have a number pad layout or anything like that. There's no sort of alternative keys. We've got a scientific calculator though, so we can really. Oh, look, there we go. Bring up pi. Equals. There we go. Nice. If you switch it back to the desk calculator, any of the functions that I put in will pop up on the left hand side in a sort of like printed out history, and flip layout, so we can have that on the... God, see, they thought of everything. They've literally thought of everything. Bottom right hand corner we've got always seems to be on every one of the screens, I think. Yep, looks like it. That's got the day of the week, the day of the month, a battery indicator, and you can press the button to switch between time and date. You got your classic jotter, so you can just write any old notes in here, and then you can find them as well. So that's quite good, isn't it? Let's put in the old hello, and then is that a new? Does that count as a new entry? 2. Type the word 2 in. Enter. New entry. Does it seems to be doing new entries. Can I get to sort of view them all? Let's see. View, list view. There it is. Hello and 2. And can I find one? I'd like to find one that's got the word 2 in it. But let me just type in woo and see if it can find that. It's found that. Look at that. Nice little search feature. And then we've got this sort of, I think this is just for show, these little bits here, but you can sort of do next and previous either in the search. No, that must be the search results. Not bad though. Not bad at all. Okay, so that was your jotter. And then we got extras. What have we got in here? So we've got a bit here about data. And I imagine this is where your new applications, if you download those onto the Psion, then this is where they would probably go. So if we press data, this looks to be some sort of data transfer. Like there's a URL, or maybe it's just where you save information about things, name, URL, notes. Probably not particularly useful, that one. You've got Word. So although you've got Jotter on here, which is pretty limited in terms of features. Can we actually put an apostrophe in for some? I don't have some of the keys. Got it. Boom. I can't believe, I mean, you can actually get up to some pretty fancy typing speeds with this. I can't believe this still works. And then on the top bar, and that is very difficult to see, we've got font size, it looks like. And does that make it even bigger? Oh, I guess it's just remembering that it's a larger font. Can I change it so it's bold? Oh, it keeps pressing the wrong thing. I wonder if it's slight. Oh yeah, look, it's slightly out there because I'm pressing. Well, oh yeah, not ideal. Is that now bold? Yes, it is. Okay, and then let's underline it as well. Wow, what a system! Absolutely fantastic. And then what are those other? Can I see what those are? We've got find and replace, and I think, gosh, oh, that's the select text, is it? Oh no, borders. So we can, wowee. So you can have a sort of table set up, it looks like. Oh, and we've got an insert graph. And then we switch over to, oh, this is a sheet actually in Word itself. I mean, that is something else. Okay, well, we better put in some sales figures. 1, 2, 3, 150. And then that's how many apples we sold. That's how many bananas were sold, probably in Q1. And then raspberries, always try and pick a fruit that is short in its title. Can I highlight all these? I can. Can I turn that into a graph? Let's see what happens when I try and do that. Well, I mean, I think that is. Can we make it 3D? There's a 3D button. Okay, now that really is staggering. Not quite sure. Oh, it must be shadows. Maybe? Not sure. And it doesn't have a legend. Oh, but I bet we can add one. Let's have a legend at the top. Range 1 apples. It hasn't quite picked up the right area, but that's probably more. Oh, here we can set the range. Oh no, that's. There we go. Set. Didn't seem to do anything when I clicked on that. Back to the sheet. That is. I think that is pretty nifty. What if I tried to put it into something that wasn't a. Here we go, like a pie chart. Oh, it's actually quite difficult to. Can I move with the cursor? Okay. There we go. There is our pie chart. Though it says range 1, so it hasn't picked up the right area. And they're all the same shade, and there's no indicator of what it is. Take that to a presentation. You're probably going to blow them away. There we go. Okay, right. So that's the Word part, but also sort of the spreadsheet object within that. We've got eSetup, which is probably for getting onto the internet. Welcome to the Psion Internet Setup Wizard. We're not going anywhere with that. Bit of reading, bit of light reading. Sheet, which definitely looks like it's just exactly the same as what we've just seen from the Word document. So we could put a graph in here too. I mean, it'd be useful, wouldn't it, if you're going around and saying, Mandy, what are your sales? Tap, tap, tap. Right, I'll go and put those back in my computer when I'm back at my desk. But you're probably fired. But, you know, obviously, with any kind of mobile device, if you haven't got something where you've got a little downtime, then I think you're missing out. Let's play Cascade. Okay, can I? Oh, I don't want to reset the high scores. That seems like admitting defeat. Now, there is a bit of colour difference between some of these balls, and I think you just press said balls until they've all disappeared. Oh, but now the battery's run out. So maybe Cascade is a particularly power-hungry game, you know. I'd be very interested. I bet someone's made Doom to run on this thing. So there we go. I've popped that back on. Oh, there we go. Oh, it starts straight back up. So that's something. That's something. So we've got a couple of sort of features that are always on this left-hand side. They are. That brings up all the menus, right? That's fair enough, isn't it? And it is, you know, you don't actually have to use a stylus. You can use your finger. Then we've got cut, copy and paste here, and it's still got the actual shortcut. So I'm going to copy that. I'm going to paste that there. Excellent, seemed to do the trick. That button is to do with infra-red, which I have tried to have installed the infra-red software and all the Psion software on my Windows 98 Pentium 3 laptop, which has got infrared on it, but without a serial cable or something to connect, maybe with a dock initially to find it, I think you can't do the initial setup. So we won't be able to do that, unfortunately. Very disappointing. And then you've got this up and down, zoom in and out bit, which didn't work on the game, but certainly works on here. Not bad. Right. Let's click on the old palm icon. And this is kind of like a desktop, I would say, where we can see our to-do list for today. We can see our battery, that it's, what does that say in the corner? It says 99% battery. Well, that's obviously not true because it just conked out. Memory used 12%. There's no sort of like computing functions or programming or anything like that. But, you know, if you were going to start your day looking for your files, you know, what's in my calendar, it would do the job. And then you've got the control panel where you can edit a bunch of settings. The screen itself, you can change the contrast, make it a little bit easier on the eye. There's no backlight though, so you know, lights go out, you can't carry on working. But I think that's probably okay. And then there's a section here about adding and removing software. So yeah, you definitely could transfer things from your computer onto one of these and enjoy it basically. So there we go. That's your Psion Revo. Not a bad looking little bit of kit, and would have been the absolute height of business executiveness back in the day. Somewhat superseded by mobile phones and things like that, but you know, not a bad bit of kit.